Since the late 1980s, audiences worldwide have been captivated by the animation masterpiece that is Studio Ghibli. Each film showcasing absolutely phenomenal landscapes, picturesque lifelike scenery, and thought-provoking entertainment offering a unique lens to explore our relationship with the natural realm. Again, it does so by exposing the malevolence of global warming and climate change. SGS' spellbinding approach to animation conveys an unwavering message to audiences of forging an intrinsic connection to nature. It thereby illuminates environmental consciousness and has captivated our generation for decades. Let's hear more about this extraordinary phenomenon and its influence on modern audiences. So now I'm just gonna give a spiel of a handful of select Studio Ghibli films and the story arc of each one in regards to environmentalism. Anthropocene ecocentrism, Mazikea of the Valley of the Wind, situates itself on environmental destruction in a post-apocalyptic era and is, of course, analogous to our postmodern society in which we showcase nuclear power plants, high-tech destructive weapons, water, and air pollution. This film is almost indicative of the Anthropocene and the dualistic divide of the man-made realm versus the ecocentric, biocentric one, inclusive of all flora and fauna. That is, the viewer learns that there is a delicate balance between man and nature. Of course, phenomena such as industrialization have completely and utterly ravaged Mother Earth by effectively destroying the forest, animals, and the soulful essence of these living creatures. Animism, My Neighbor Totoro, and Spirited Away. 2001 is of course about animism and respecting spiritual deities in the natural world, such as forests, rivers, and mountains, and showcases how the protagonists forge a strong emotional bond connection to these deities through their childhood memories. It is indicative of how humankind, and especially indigenous societies since time immemorial, have relied on supernaturalism and the spiritual energy or mana of sorts dispelled from shamans, sorcerers, and wizards. And that again, we as Homo sapiens must pay out utmost respects. Forces of reproduction, ecofeminism, the term I coined. Cult classic like Princess Mononoke is about a strong, young warrior named Ashitaka who is struck by a deadly curse whose goal is to restore the decaying forest. We again see this conflict of the villain Antoadnois' Lady Eboshi as domination of the forest, which ultimately ends up in destruction of the forest spirits. Then you have the heroine Princess Mononoke, who is raised by wildebeests, wolves, and despises the selfishness, gluttony, hedonism of humankind, and is essentially a euphemism of embodying an eco-feminine warrior. Again, the argument of good versus evil resonates through this film. Overpopulation, degrowth. Pompoko is yet another analogy highlighting how urbanization and things like gentrification and overpopulation have left animal inhabitants clamoring as their habitats are constantly exploited. Again, that idea of eco-activism and climate change action is portrayed as these robust raccoons try to derail the plans of real estate developers in these Tokyo suburbs. Minimalism, and of course we have films like The Secret World of Aridi, which point to the idea of mindfulness and minimalism, and to combat the materialism and hyperconsumption of our mainstream society, including all the commodification we take for granted. Poshumanism, and of course I have to mention Castle in the Sky. One of my faves depicts society as over-reliance on technology, and our complete and utter fascination with inadvertently assuming that technological innovation will resolve the crux of the problem, even climate change. This is causing humans to rationalize overproduction and hyperconsumption in our capitalistic and profiteering society. It portrays the idea of posthumanism and, again, intersection between human, non-human, and technological worlds, as you can see from the Laputan robot troopers, a primitive type of robot transformer. Of course, this is similar to our society becoming more automated and bionic in nature. Deep ecology. Ponyo, the protagonist Ponyo's desire to become human is motivated by her love for the natural world and her innate desire to protect it, and again, the underlying lesson is the utter necessity for humanity to live in harmony with its environment. Again, it touches on the idea of deep versus shallow sustainability, ecology in terms of conservation efforts and pollution, especially illustrating an ethic of care. Again, it addressed that delicate divide between natural preservation and human progress. For instance, the narratives of Studio Ghibli films often revolve around a harmonious coexistence between humans and nature, underscoring the importance of preserving the natural environment. The studio's meticulous attention to detail in depicting lush landscapes and intricate natural elements serves as a constant reminder of the beauty and complexity of the natural world. Through its captivating storytelling and stunning visuals, Studio Ghibli has instilled in audiences a deep appreciation for the fragility and resilience of ecosystems. Their films frequently explore themes of environmental responsibility, encouraging viewers to consider the impact of human actions on the natural world. By weaving environmental messages into compelling narratives, Studio Ghibli has successfully raised awareness about critical environmental issues without resorting to heavy-handed preachiness. Their films transcend geographical boundaries, resonating with audiences worldwide and inspiring them to become stewards of the planet. Now, I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the Studio Ghibli's impact on environmentalism? And do you think that anime can be a powerful tool for conveying environmental messages? Also, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and share for more insightful content. Thanks for watching.